Good evening, everyone. We are your presenter for Article 16, the General Provision. Before we start our report, I would just like to introduce myself. I am Nerlaila C. Macabato, and my other members are Cassandra Mapa, Irish Medina, and Wella Magistrado. Before we start on the general provisions, the articles of general provision, I would just like to discuss a quick description about the general provision of the 1987 Philippine Constitution. So, the Article 16 of the 1987 Philippine Constitution deals with the general provision concerning with amendment or revision of the Constitution. Its purpose is to establish a framework for constitutional changes by outlining the necessary procedure and requirements. The Constitution itself is regarded as the fundamental law of the land, and Article 16 provides a guidance on how it can be modified. However, the specific details, procedures, and limitation is related to amendments or revision that may be further expounded upon in additional laws and legislation enacted by the Philippine Congress. This ensures that the process of amending and revising the Constitution is carried out in a comprehensive and regulated manner.
Section 1. The flag of the Philippines shall be red, white, and blue, with the sun and 3 stars, as consecrated and honored by the people and recognized by law. Many people know when it comes to respecting the Philippine flag, tinatalakay dito ang tamang kulay, itsura at tamang pagkakaporma ng watawat. The Philippine national flag has a rectangular design that consists of a white equilateral triangle symbolizing liberty, equality, and fraternity, a horizontal blue stripe for peace, truth, and justice, and a horizontal red stripe for patriotism and valor. The 3 stars stands for Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. In the center of equilateral white triangle is the sun with 8 rays represented the first 8 provinces, which is Manila, Cavite, Bulacan, Pampanga, Tarlac, Batangas, Laguna, and Nueva Ecija. Section 2. The Congress may, by law, adopt a new name for the country, a national anthem or a national seal, which shall all be truly reflective and symbolic of the ideals, history, and tradition of the people. Such law shall take effect only upon its ratification by the people in a national referendum. Ito ay pagbabago ng pangalan ng bansa, pambansang awit o sagisag nito. An example is changing the name of the Philippines and calling it Maharlika. Maaari itong mabago at dapat na manatili pa din yung paglalarawan, mga simbolo sa mithiin, mga history at mga tradisyon ng sambayanan. But its change will only happen with the ratification of the people in the national referendum. Section 3. The state may not be sued without its consent. Ang mga batas na gustong baguhin sa bansa ay hindi papayagan ng walang permission or readings from Congress.
Moving on in the Section 4 of the Article 16, the Armed Forces of the Philippines shall be composed of a citizen armed forces that shall undergo military training as serve as may be provided by law. It shall keep and regular forces necessary for the security of the states. The Armed Forces of the Philippines has the permanent military group called the Regular Forces. The Regular Forces is crucial for keeping the country safe and secure and consists with well-trained professional soldiers who are ready to defend the nation and carry out important defense operations. Alongside this, regular forces, the AFP is primarily made up with citizens who receive a military training and serve as required by law to protect the country. Moving on in the Section 5 of the Article 16 is that the Constitution, the Section 5 points out the highlights that commits na uphold the Constitution, ensure professionalism, fair treatment, and armed forces, maintain separation of the military from politics, and establish guidelines for recruitment, retirement, and leadership. This position within the military within the military. Number one of the Section 5 is that all members of the armed forces shall take an oath or affirmation to uphold and defend this Constitution. It says that the armed forces shall promise that they will protect and defend this Constitution at all times. Number two of the Section 5 is that the Philippines shall strengthen the patriotic spirits and nationalistic consciousness of the military and respect for the people's rights in the performance of their duty. They said sa article na to, ang sabi that ang gobyerno dapat ay sinasthreaten ang patriotism and national consciousness of the military while respecting others people's right. Number three of the Section 5 is that professionalism in the armed forces, educate, remuneration, and benefits of its member shall be a prime concern of the states. The armed forces shall be insulated from partisan politics. No members of the military shall engage directly or indirectly at any partisan politic activity except to vote. They said that professionalism, fair compensation, and benefits for military members are important, and the military should always remain separate from any politics except to vote. Number 4 of the Section 5 is that no member of armed forces in the active service shall at all any times be appointed or designated in any capacity to a civilian position in the government, including the government-owned or controlled corporation or any other of their subsidiaries. Military personnel in active service cannot hold a civilian position in the government. Number 5 of the Section 5 is that law on retirement of military officers shall not allow extension of their services. Laws regarding military officer retirement should not allow any service extensions. Number 6 is that officer of men of the regular forces of the armed forces shall be recruited proportionally from all province cities as far as practicable. Recruitment in the armed forces shall strive for proportional representation from all province and city. Number 7 is that the duty of the staff of the armed forces shall not exceed 3 years. However, in times of wars or other national emergencies declared by the Congress, by the President may extend such tour of duty. This is depending on the extension of their services. If there was a national emergency, war, or any other national crisis. Moving on the Section 6, the state shall establish and maintain one police force which shall be a national in scope and civilian characters to be administrated and controlled by a national police commissions. The authority of local executives over the police units in their jurisdiction shall be provided by law. The Section 6 is all about the government of the Philippines establishes and maintains a single police force that operates a nationwide and serves the public. This police force is separated from the military and is under the administration and controls the national police commissions. Local government officials have authority over the police units within their jurisdiction as defined by law.
This section, or the Section 7, refers to a provision in the law or constitution of a country that mandates the government to provide support and assistance. War veterans include individuals who have served in the armed forces during war or conflict situation and have subsequently completed their duty or been honorably discharged. Veterans of military campaigns refer to individuals who have served in a specific military mission or conflict against a particular enemy or in a particular region. They have experienced the realities and dangers of warfare and have often faced difficult and challenging conditions while serving their country. These veterans may have been deployed to combat zones, participated in peacekeeping missions, or provided support in the logistic or other roles. They have often made significant sacrifices and endure hardship to fulfill their duty to their country. Surviving spouses are the partner of deceased war veterans or veterans of military campaigns who have passed away either during or after their service. The term is often used in the context of government benefits and support programs for surviving spouses of veterans such as health care, education, pensions, and other related benefits. These programs are designed to help support and aid the surviving spouses in their time of need. Orphans are children who have lost one or both parents. In this case, children of war veterans or veterans of military campaigns who may have lost one or both parents. These children often require special care and support to help them cope with the emotional and psychological effects of losing a parent and to ensure their basic needs are met. This support may come from government programs and non-governmental organizations or community initiatives. The care benefits and other forms of assistance provided by the government may include financial, medical, and educational support, among other things to help these individuals reintegrate into civilian life and to honor their service to the country. The pension program is managed by the Social Security System or SSS and the Government Service Insurance System GSIS. This program provides retirement, disability, and the survivorship benefits to qualified members. The SSS is for private sector employees and the GSIS is for government employees. To qualify for the pension program, you have to be a member and contribute regularly to the program. The amount of pension you will receive depends on your contributions and the length of time you have been a member. The government is responsible for periodically reviewing and, if necessary, increasing the pension and other benefits that retirees from both the public and the private sector receive. The aim is to ensure that retired individuals are adequately taken care of and supported in their post-retirement years. The government recognizes the contribution that these retirees have made during their working years and wants to ensure that they live a dignified life after retirement. Besides sa mga retired workers, may pension din na natatanggap yung mga senior citizen and it introduced in 2010. The social pension for indigent senior citizen was an additional government assistance under Republic Act 994 or the Expanded Senior Citizen Act, which amended the original Senior Citizen Act of Republic Act 7432 to provide more benefits for Filipinos aged 60 and above, including the grant of a 20%. The government has a duty to preventive the rights and interests of consumers by ensuring that they are not exposed to any unethical and unfair practices by business in the marketplace. This includes protecting consumers from being deceived or misled fraudulent advertising, price gouging, and other forms of exploitation. Additionally, the government should ensure that consumers have access to safe and quality products that meet certain standards and are not exposed to hazardous products that pose a risk to their health or safety. Overall, the aim is to promote fair competition and a level playing field in the market, while ensuring that consumers are protected and have confidence in the products they use. The Philippine government adopted Republic Act 7394, Consumer Act of Philippines of 1991, as the legal basis for consumer protection in the country. The law embodies the state policy on the protection of consumer and establishes standards of conduct for business and industry in the country. The state shall ensure safe and good quality of food, drugs, cosmetic, and devices, and regulate their production, sale, distribution, and advertisement to protect health of the consumer. The basic rights of consumer are rights to comfortability as security and safety, right to choose product service, right to receive true information of the product service condition, right to complain and to be heard, right to be advocacy, protection, and dispute settlement, right to be served and treated without discrimination, and lastly, right to be informed about your rights.
I am Welager Magistrado and I will be discussing the sections 10, 11, and 12 of Article 16 General Provision. Section 10. The state shall provide the policy environment for the full development of Filipino capability and the emergence of communication structures suitable to the needs and aspirations of the nation and the balanced flow of information into, out of, and across the country, in accordance with a policy that respects the freedom of speech and of the press. This statement emphasizes the role of the government in creating a policy environment that promotes the overall growth and potential of the Filipino people. It highlights two key areas, which are the development of the Filipino capabilities and the establishment of communication structures that meet the nation's needs. For the development of Filipino capability, the government is responsible for implementing policies and initiatives that support the full development of the Filipino people capabilities. This involves providing opportunities for education, skills training, and other forms of capacity buildings. By investing in human capital, the government aims to empower individuals to reach their full potential para after nun makakontribute yung bawat individual na yun sa nation's development. And some of the examples of how the government can implement policies and initiatives to support the development ng kapasidad ng bawat Pilipino ay ang mga sumusunod. So here we have, first, the education reform. The government can focus on improving the quality and accessibility of education. Second is they can increase funding for public schools and ensuring equitable distributions of resources. Third is they can develop a curriculum frameworks na align sa kailangang mga trabaho sa market and nagpo-promote ng critical thinking, creativity, and yung problem-solving skills. Fourth, they can enhance the teachers' training programs to ensure na highly skilled and motivated yung mga educators natin. They can also expand the access to education, especially in the remote areas and yung marginalized areas through the establishment of schools, scholarships, and distance learning program. They can also create skills training program. The government can establish programs that provide vocational and technical training to enhance employability and address the skills gap. And then, they can collaborate with industry stakeholders to identify yung mga in-demand skills and design training programs. And lastly, they can set up skills development centers or institutions na nag-o-offer ng specialized training in sectors such as technology, manufacturing, agriculture, or healthcare. And then, they can also provide financial assistance or grants to individuals na nagsisik ng skill development courses. So, another key areas na highlight sa section na to is yung emergence of communication structures. Ano ba ang emergence of communication structures? It is development and evolution of organized systems and patterns of communication within the group or society. So, in this part, the government should facilitate the emergence of communication structures na magkikater sa nation's need and aspirations. This includes establishing systems and infrastructures that enables the smooth flow of information sa loob ng country as well as internationally or sa labas ng country. The goal is to ensure that people have access to accurate and timely information, allowing them to make informed decisions and actively participate in the social, economic, and political spheres. In addition to the emergence of communication structures, these communication structures should operate in accordance with a policy that respects freedom of speech and the press. Meaning, while the government is responsible for regulating certain aspects of communication, It should not infringe upon individuals' right to express their opinions freely. The press should also operate without undue censorships or restrictions, allowing for a diverse range of perspectives and a vibrant exchange of ideas. In summary to this statement acknowledges the government's role in creating a conducive policy environment that fosters the development of Filipino capabilities and facilitates effective communication. It underscores the importance of empowering individuals, promoting access to the information, and upholding the principles of freedom of speech and press in pursuit of national progress and aspirations. Is Section 11 of Article 16. Section 11. Subsection 1. The ownership and management of mass media shall be limited to citizens of the Philippines or to corporations, cooperatives, or associations wholly owned and managed by such citizens. In this subsection, it shows the intent of ensuring that the mass media dito sa Pilipinas ay nananatiling under control and influenced by the Filipino. It aims to protect and promote the country's national identity, cultural values, and interests by preventing foreign control or undue influence over mass media outlet. By limiting yung ownership and management of Filipino citizens only, it seeks to maintain yung local control and decision-making power in the media industry. It is intended to safeguard yung national sovereignty, preserve the diversity of voices and perspectives within the media landscape, and lastly, by having this kind of provision kasi, it prevents the potential dominance by foreign interests. The Congress shall regulate or prohibit monopolies in commercial mass media when the public interest so requires. No combination and restraint of trade or unfair competition therein shall be allowed. Monopolies refers to situations where a single company or a small group of companies have exclusive control over a particular industry or market. It can result po kasi if one country controls the one particular industry, it can result po in a concentration of power, limiting diverse perspectives and potential leading to bias reporting and censorship. Prohibiting monopolies helps ensure a plurality of voices and opinions in the media, which is very essential for a well-informed citizenry. So for the no combination in restraints of trades or unfair competition, it's to promote fair competition. One of the primary objectives of the antitrust and competition law is to promote fair competition in the marketplace. Combining or colluding means nakikipag-cooperate ka in a secret or unlawful way in order to deceive or gain advance over others. So, combining or colluding to restrain trade or engage in unfair competition undermines the principles of fair competition by limiting consumers' choice and raising the prices. So, prohibiting such combinations helps ensure a level playing field for all market participants. With this, it also helps to protect the consumer's interest. Restraints of trades or unfair competition can harm consumers by reducing options, increasing prices, and limiting product quality or innovations. When business engage in anti-competitive practices such as price fixing, market allocation, or collusion, it can lead to monopolistic behavior that harms consumers' welfare. By disallowing such combinations, consumers' interests are safeguarded, ensuring they have access to a competitive market with a variety of choices. Subsection 2. The advertising industry is impressed with public interest and shall be regulated by law for the protection of consumers and promotion of general welfare. Since ang advertising is may significant impact sa ating mga customers and mismong sa society, advertising should be subject to rules and regulations para maprotektahan nito yung mga consumers and para na rin mapromote nito yung overall well-being ng publiko. By establishing rules and standards, regulations aims to ensure that advertising practices are fair, honest, and beneficial siya sa public. Only Filipino citizens or corporations or associations at least 70% of the capital of which is owned by such citizens shall be allowed to engage in advertising industry. Restricts or reserves participation in the advertising industry for entities that meet the national requirements specified. It aims to ensure that the majority ownership and control of advertising firms remains in the hands of Filipino citizens or Filipino-owned entities. The participation of foreign investors in the governing body of entities in such industry shall be limited to their proportionate share in the capital thereof, and all the executive and managing officers of such entities must be citizens of the Philippines. So in this part, it desires to maintain control and decision-making power within the industry in the hands of Filipino citizens. It aims to ensure that foreign investors do not have disproportionate influence or control over governing bodies of entities in the industry. The requirement that all executive and managing officers of such entities must be Filipino citizens ensures that the highest ranking position with these entities are held by individuals who are citizens of the Philippines. This provision aims to safeguard the interests of the country and ensure that the key leadership roles are filled by individuals who have a deep understanding of the local context and are accountable to the country's law and regulations. Section 12. The Congress may create a consultative body to advise the President on policies affecting indigenous cultural communities, the majority of the member of which shall come from such communities. The Congress has the authority to establish a consultative body that will serve as an advisory body to the President regarding policies that impact indigenous cultural communities. It specifies that the majority of the members of this consultative body should come from these communities themselves. The purpose of creating such consultative body is to ensure that the voices and perspectives of those indigenous cultural communities are directly represented in policymaking process. By having a majority of members from these communities, the goal is to provide a platform for their unique insights, knowledge, and experience to be considered when formulating policies that affect them. By that, we reach the end of the discussion of Article 16 General Provision. Thank you for listening.